Strangely enough, it seems almost impossible for a person to grow up emotionally healthy unless they were deeply loved early in life, not occasionally, not conditionally, but consistently over many years. Yet we are still only beginning to understand what real parental love actually looks like. So instead of asking whether your parents were good or bad, a more useful question is this: what did their love teach your nervous system to expect from the world? Here are several quiet signs that reveal how well your emotional needs were met. A well-attuned parent didn't expect a child to adapt to adult logic. They adapted themselves to the child. They lowered themselves, sometimes literally, to the child's level, trying to understand how the world felt from smaller eyes. They knew that a young child couldn't prioritize schedules, rules, or efficiency. They understood that being centered, noticed, and emotionally prioritized wasn't spoiling, it was preparation for growth. Healthy parents also understood that for a child, small things are never small. Joy could come from tapping a spoon against a plate. Pain could come from a torn page or a missing button. Instead of dismissing these reactions, they treated them with seriousness and warmth because they understood something critical. A child who is allowed empathy for minor hurts grows into an adult capable of handling major ones. Good parents were generous interpreters. They didn't rush to label a child as difficult, antisocial, or a problem. They assumed feelings before flaws. This gentle interpretation eventually becomes the child's inner voice. It teaches them how to forgive themselves, how not to spiral into shame, how to recover after mistakes without self-destruction. Emotionally mature parents also allowed children to pass through strange phases. They didn't panic when a child became obsessed, withdrawn, dramatic, or odd for a while. They trusted development. They didn't rush to lock the child into an identity. They allowed experimentation without humiliation. This freedom is what later produces adults who feel safe being themselves. They also didn't shame dependency. They understood that independence grows out of sufficient closeness, not forced toughness. Children who are allowed to cling early are the ones who can separate later without fear. Good parents were not impressive performers. They didn't try to be perfect, exciting, or idealized figures. They were reliably ordinary. This ordinariness teaches something essential: that being human is survivable, that flaws don't destroy love, that one day, leaving home is both possible and safe. Finally, they didn't expect emotional repayment. They gave without asking to be admired, understood, or emotionally supported in return. They knew that parenting is asymmetrical. The reward would not come quickly. It would come years later when the child no longer needed them. Put simply, love is not intensity. It is not sacrifice performed loudly. It is not control disguised as care. Love is the patient, consistent willingness of an adult to contain the chaos of a child until that child learns to contain themselves. And perhaps the most unsettling truth is this: despite everything we know, we are still only at the beginning of understanding how much of our adult lives are shaped by the quiet emotional climate of our earliest years. If this resonated with you, what did it bring up for you? You can share it in the comments.